Ambassador SpaceOper had laughed when humanity first petitioned for council membership. The fragile bipeds from Sol 3 were barely capable of faster-than-light travel, their vessels held together with what could only be described as optimistic engineering. The council had denied them, naturally. Species with less than 5,000 years of spacefaring history were considered infants. That was before the Devourers arrived. The ancient machine intelligence swept through the galaxy like a digital plague, consuming entire civilizations in days. The proud Nexari Empire, with their quantum shields and temporal weapons, fell in 72 hours. The telepathic mind-weavers, who had evolved beyond physical form, were absorbed into the Devourers' collective consciousness without firing a single shot. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session aboard their flagship, the Eternal Unity. SpaceOper watched his fellow ambassadors panic as system after system went dark on the holographic display. The Devourers were adapting to every defense, learning from every engagement, becoming stronger with each victory. "We require sanctuary," SpaceOper announced, his pride crumbling. "Contact the humans." The communication officer's tendrils trembled. "Ambassador," the humans responded 3 cycles ago. They said, and I quote, "We told you so." Coordinates attached. Humanity had built their refuge in the most inhospitable region of space, a nebula filled with radiation storms, gravitational anomalies, and rogue asteroids. The Council fleet limped toward Earth's coordinates, their advanced vessels struggling through conditions that should have been impossible to navigate. When they emerged, they found something unexpected, a fortress. Humanity had turned the nebula into a defensive labyrinth, using the very chaos that repelled civilized species as camouflage and weapon. Crude-looking space stations bristled with kinetic weapons, ballistic projectiles that the Devourers' adaptive algorithms couldn't predict because they were too simple, too random. Captain Sarah Chen greeted the Council via transmission, her face scarred from combat. "Welcome to the neighborhood. We've been preparing for something like this since you rejected us. Called it Plan Paranoia. You anticipated the Devourers?" SpaceOper asked, incredulous. Sarah smiled grimly. "We anticipated being alone when something horrible showed up. Humanity learned a long time ago that when you're the underdog, you don't wait for permission to survive. You prepare for the worst and hope you're wrong. The Devourers found them a week later. But humanity's chaotic strategies, kamikaze runs, nuclear mines, electromagnetic pulse bombs, and tactics that defied all logical warfare doctrines, confused the machine intelligence. The Devourers adapted to logic, to patterns, to predictability. They couldn't adapt to insanity. As the Council's finest minds watched humans win through sheer unpredictable audacity, SpaceOper understood humanity's true strength. They weren't the strongest or the smartest. They were survivors who thrived in chaos, who turned disadvantages into weapons, who never stopped fighting even when logic demanded surrender. The Galactic Council had rejected humanity. Now humanity was saving them all, one impossible victory at a time.